Dear friends, King Martin Luther said, I imagine that the first question the priest and Levite asked was, if I stop to help this man, what will happen to me? But by the very nature of his concern, the Good Samaritan reversed the question. If I do not stop to help this man, what will happen to him? Indeed, a number of people might have passed by the wounded man, but there could be several reasons as to why they did not stop to help the man in need. Maybe touching the man had a risk of defilement, short of time, wanting to reach in time for their temple duties, afraid of the robbers, indifferent to the cause of the needy, past experience of having faced danger, unable to set their priorities in order. The reasons could be varied. Here, one thing is certain. They failed to help a person in need and thus had missed an opportunity of doing good. And this missing the opportunity of doing good constitutes the sin of omission. Often, we too lose the opportunity of doing good.
But look at this Samaritan. He does not pause to do a risk assessment or make a calculation or check to see if he is covered by insurance. His response is immediate and unconditional. He can only see the urgency. The Samaritan not only tends the physical wounds, but the deeper wounds to the sense of self. Having the intent to help is good, but acting on that intent is much better. The Samaritan's intent didn't save the wounded man from death. It is his actions that ultimately saved the man's life. He didn't walk away just like the two men before him. He decided to do something. In our time, that half-dead man's photos would end up in social media before he even gets to the hospital. Everybody would take pictures, but very few would actually dare to help. We'll feel sorry for that person, but not enough to get involved. Now, are we the Good Samaritan, or are we the priest and Levite who walked away? It's not enough to read this parable in the Bible and talk about how incredibly passionate the Samaritan was. No, Jesus tells us to go and do likewise. Let us learn a few of the valuable lessons from this passage. The Good Samaritan took a chance and got involved. We shouldn't count the risk or reward when doing good. The Good Samaritan was willing to sacrifice. Don't get too busy to show mercy and compassion. The Good Samaritan didn't let prejudice, casteism, racism get in the way. Don't count the cost before extending compassion.
We are challenged to be Good Samaritan. Let's start with little act of kindness and practice more empathy. Think less about what others can do for us and more on what we can do for others. That in itself is already being a Good Samaritan. Thank you. Have a blessed day.